So a buddy of mine and I had a bit of a chat about what to do with the back wheel of a Harley, and it just so happens that when I got the bike there was a bit of a vibration coming through the seat, and the spoked wheel wasn't aligned as well as it could have been. When I checked the spokes, there were a few spokes that were loose. So I ended up getting a disc rim, and it's interesting comparing the two different sort of rim configurations. Obviously the Fat Boy comes out with a disc rim, and the older Harley bikes had the spoked rims. Now look, there's pros and cons for both set of rims. I currently have the disc rim on the back of my Harley because the spoked wheel was stripped. I stripped it up, cleaned up everything, made it look good again, and I put it on a DTR and sort of trued up everything. So I biased it to one side because I'm planning on putting a 140 on the back of my bike, and I've got the wider belt drive, so the rim needs to be slightly to one side. But currently I have the disc rim at the back. I actually bought a scrap one that I cleaned up nicely and put on the bike, and it looked really good. So that's going to be on until I change the back tire. So interesting, I've always liked the spoked rims, and I must admit the disc rim has its positives. So you don't need a tube, so it's tubeless tire, which is really cool, because on the back wheel, which is typically the wheel that you get your punches on, if you get something on a long road, you can just plug it, where it's slightly more difficult to do that with a tube tire. The other interesting thing between the two different configurations is the heat. So I found that my disc brake was actually heating up the disc rim a little bit because the brake was rubbing, and there was actually a few things that I completely redesigned on the back brake of my bike, but that's a video for another day. Anyway, I did that to cool down the rim. Obviously with the spoke rim you don't have that issue, because the hub is basically completely decoupled from the rim through the spokes, so you don't get any heat transfer from the hub into the outside of the rim into the tires. But on the disc rim you have that beautiful nice disc basic fin that pulls all of the heat into the tires. So that's one of the negatives of the disc rim. I think on balance, look, I mean, I've only ever had 2 or 3 punctures on my bikes in all the time that I've been driving. So the whole plugging a bike on the side of the road, I'm not sure is a big seller. I think if you do get a puncture on the side of the road nowadays, with people being able to pick you up and the AA service and all of that, getting the bike to a place where you can make a plan is not too difficult nowadays. I think from a pure aesthetic point of view, I'm probably going to go back to the spokes once this tire is warm. But look, it's much of a muchness. I thought I'd do a comparison for you guys and see what you think. Let me know. Thanks for watching this video, guys.